How's everybody doing this evening? I wasn't planning on my phone telling me to rotate this way, so I'm going to have to try to do some adjusting here. I don't think my little holder is going to hold it. So, I may just have to hold it like this. Hold it with my hand. But there's Tracy.
Hello.
Fresh out of the shower. Smelling fine, I must say. All right, so welcome to the NASCAR Live Championship Chat with Hamm, and I am DHammiam, right?
Yeah. Did we go off of Wi-Fi?
Yeah, I did. You're good. Just go right on. Huh?
I need to turn Wi-Fi off.
Okay, well, anyway, welcome to the show. You see, we're prepared. As always. Anyway, click like and subscribe for this channel to stay up to date on. I'm going to be doing my usual chats, my NASCAR live chats usually on Monday nights during the race season, and we talk about NASCAR obviously. But my 25 years as an engine builder and a jackman and NASCAR racing, so you might find it interesting. And we'll have Tracy on, and sometimes we'll have the Beer Man, which he may be watching right now, but he's on his way down to Florida.
So
right?
We've got Rachel watching, the annoying train boy watching, Michael Wright, Tom Robinson.
What's up, Tom? What's up, everybody? I'm going to have to set my phone down. I think what I'm going to do is eventually get my regular camera going. But
Will it not allow you to turn it now?
No, it's going to tell me to orient it back the way it was. This was our championship grid that we had hanging at work, and they were throwing it out, and I said, I'll take that. This was the one for the Cup Series, Monster Energy Cup Series. And so as you can see, we started out here with round 16 with Kyle Busch, Harvick, Truex, Keselowski, Boyer. We had a bunch of Fords in there, which was pretty awesome. And then we got down to the last four. And number 4 ended up winning, Joey Logano. But he was the one that was locked in from his Martinsville win. But there's the big one right there. Logano's win. All right, and then we'll set this back down. And here's the one from the Xfinity series that we had hanging up. Yeah, we had these hanging up in the shop.
Pretty cool.
And they were going to toss them. And I said, can I have those? Because I certainly don't want to be digging them out of the dumpster, but I would have. So,
I guess it's just...
it's just me, what, did I like to have those? I hang those out in my shop. That's a keeper. So what, we got any questions here? So stick around to the end of the video, and I'm going to answer my number 2 asked question. I answered my number 1 most asked question of all time, and that was how I got my job in NASCAR racing. And of course I said I went to college at Central Piedmont, and my goal the whole time was to get a job in the NASCAR. And when I finally got a job, then it was ready to be a jackman. And so, but my number 2 most asked question, you'll probably never guess. If you want to go ahead and try, go for it.
Wahoo!
There's Scott. I know who that is, the Beer Man. But anyhow, I'm going to get y'all a little bit closer
Beer
here.
Man.
Florida Beer Man.
Paul Rodriguez says hello, everyone.
Hello. I got something to show you guys. Can you see it? Is it backwards on there?
It's not there yet. See, mine's delayed.
Oh, yeah, you're delayed. Okay. All right, so that is my Brickyard 400 champion ring. Brickyard 400.
Is Terry on here? Somebody said, hey, Terry. I don't see her. Oh, there. Hey, Terry.
And might as well take it off. It's hot in here. I got these lights
No, David's
beaming
just hot.
down. The heat was on 73. So there's my one side. And this is from...
Turn it this way, babe.
So this was from...
Yeah.
Okay.
That's easier.
This is what was from when Keselowski won at the Brickyard. Okay, so I have yet. Well, we're going to be getting our Roush Yates engines, Joey Logano, Team Penske championship rings, and we'll be getting those probably after Christmas, because they got to make them.
So 2 questions already. How many times do you guys rebuild the same engine, and are these engines sleeved?
No, the engines are not sleeved, and we will rebuild the engines many times. They will be rebuilt, and we keep mileage on every part. So that's the big thing. We have to keep a mileage on everything, and then we'll run it in the Cup engines, and then we can move it down to the Xfinity engines because they don't run as many miles in the races. So we will we'll mileage them down to the Xfinity, and then sometimes down to the trucks when we're doing the truck engines.
So Scott says, question of the night. Would you go to or watch a Cup race on Wednesday night?
Would I go watch a Cup race on a Wednesday night?
On a school night.
That's going to be a tough one if they do the Wednesday night thing, because I don't know if that's going to really help pack people in the stands. I don't see it. I would rather see Saturday nights and Friday nights. Run the Xfinity on Friday nights and run the Cup stuff on Saturday nights. That would be that's when I like going to the races. Because, on Sundays, then everybody's trying to leave the track. The campers have to leave the track. And then you get stuck in traffic. And a lot of people are traveling, so then they have to be at work on Mondays. So Saturdays, the campers can stay overnight, and then they can leave on Sundays. All the vehicles can leave Saturday night after the race and go home. I think that'd be a better deal. But I don't know, what tracks are they talking about doing the Wednesday night? I have heard that, but I haven't heard any specifics on it. So if anybody can answer that question, let me know.
The annoying train boy wants to know, do you know Bill Elliott and Chase Elliott?
I do not know Chase Elliott. I used to know Bill Elliott because I used to see him all the time at the racetrack. But I guess the answer to that question, I don't see him anymore. The most recent driver I've seen, obviously, Brad Keselowski and Joey Logano and Ryan Blaney. But I saw Casey Kane the other day open the Jimmy John's freaky fast. He was kind of laughing at me because I was trying to eat one of those unwitches, which is all wrapped in lettuce, and it's like falling apart, I should have just got a bowl and a fork to eat with it. Anybody's ever had an unwitch? It's just basically you don't eat the bun, you just have it wrapped in lettuce. And that was in Mooresville. And by the way, I posted a picture on the Twitter at DHammiam of the old Days of Thunder barn, and it made it through the old snow apocalypse in Mooresville. And if you hadn't seen my video on the snow apocalypse, that's a hard word to say. I decided I was going to see if I could do a little arrowhead hunting during the snow, and of course the answer to that was no. But you'll see in the video. Go check it out. It's on my YouTube page right here.
If you're not subscribed, subscribe.
Yeah, subscribe and check it out. Then you can comment. See, if you're not subscribed, you won't be able to comment. So why don't we just do that? Make it happen.
So Tom Robinson says he thinks it should be Friday and Saturday, not Sunday. Scott says it opens a weekend up. Paul Rodriguez says, wow, that's cool. Your group will get a championship ring. Scott says Martinsville on Wednesday and the Charlotte race on the weekend.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Martinsville on a Wednesday and a Charlotte race on the weekend. I just don't see how people are going to get out of work to go to the Martinsville race, though. I mean, I understand the concept. It's just right down the street from each other, but I mean, it'd be worth a shot. Get the short tracks back. If we have to do that to get the short track back on the schedules and maybe get it back in there twice in the season, then I'm all for it. It's worth a shot. Might as well give it a try.
Terry Quinn says, if it ain't messy, it ain't good.
You must be talking about the snow. Because I know Martinsville gets messy too. If it rains down there and you go out there in that grassy parking lot, it is a mess. Trust me. Then you got to try to get up that hill. Four-wheel drive vehicle. Otherwise, you're in trouble to getting out of that place.
An annoying train boy, I'm sorry. I'm trying to understand what you're asking. You said, did you see where I don't know if the 22 crashed the
Oh,
78 car at the last lap. Do you
oh yeah,
understand what he's
yeah.
talking
He's
about?
talking about. Did you see where? I don't know.
I didn't
Yeah.
watch the race, so I'm
Well, this
sorry.
is Martinsville. He's talking about. This is the car. So if you see the thumbnail in my video right here, the one you clicked on to watch this video, that is actually the Martinsville car, and that is the one that's basically responsible for Joey getting in and winning the championship.
Is that the one they gave him at the party?
Yes, Roger Penske told Joey he was giving him the keys, which we all know they don't really have keys, but
Yeah.
anyway, he was giving Joey Logano the Martinsville car. So we had it there at the Penske party, and we went in there and took pictures with it. That's where I got that picture from. If you look on that thumbnail, you can see Joey Logano's over to the right, and Roger Penske's right there in the front, over to the right of the thumbnail. So to answer that question though, I think that Joey was racing, and I know this is probably the biggest controversy of the year because a lot of people were pulling for Truex and a lot of people were pulling for Joey, which was me, obviously. And, he just got into the back of him and spun him out, but he won the race and he won the championship because of it. But I tell you, I cannot help but think if Truex was in that same position, he would have done the same thing. And honestly, I think any driver out there that's championship worthy would have done the same thing. That's my 2 cents on it.
Terry says she was talking about the Unwich.
Oh, yeah, Terry, the Unwich. That was a messy thing. But messy's good. I like messy. I can eat me a big old messy plate of Mexican food. The messier the better. Little crunch in there.
Scott says, or how about would you go to a race in Michigan, for example, and watch 2 cup races back to back Saturday and Sunday? Martinsville under the lights, he says.
Okay, yeah, Martinsville under the lights on a Wednesday night. Okay, well, that's kind of cool. Would I go to Michigan on a Saturday and a Sunday? I wouldn't go to Michigan, but you know what? If I'd never been there or whatever, if I lived in Michigan and I was going to go, I would probably go to one race or the other. So I think that the fan would, there's some real dedicated fans that would go camp out. They would stay there for Saturday and Sunday. Just like you see at a lot of the dirt tracks locally, they'll have these big races, and once or twice a year when people go, and there'll be like a 3-day event at some of the dirt tracks. So maybe that's where NASCAR is kind of getting this idea. But and then the same cars run each 3 days, or at least 2 of those 3 days. So I could see going and doing that, staying and camping out, making it a weekend of racing, because that's what the fans want. They want racing. That's
Scott says big changes coming in 2020 schedules. Rusty Washburn, you said yep. I'm not sure what you're yepping to, but okay. Paul Rodriguez, Wednesday night races might be rough on people arranging vacations long enough to attend. Sitting home watching it on TV would be okay.
Yeah, for sure. Yep. Somebody said they missed Dale Earnhardt.
The first.
Yeah, Dale Earnhardt the first. Yeah, the sport changed a lot whenever Dale Earnhardt died. I know that's a fact. Dale was kind of like the leader, so anything that he kind of thought the same way most of us crew guys thought, and whenever there was an issue, he would go to NASCAR and say, you know what, y'all ain't thinking right on this, y'all need to change something, and so he was really good at that. So yeah, the sport did definitely change whenever he passed away. So we got we were going to talk a little bit about the Penske party, and also about the Roush party that we went to, or I went to.
Rusty says yes about you wrecking them.
Yeah, that's for sure. So Tracy and I went to the Penske party down in Charlotte, down at the
World Club.
At the World Club, which was a happening place. If y'all never been down there,
600 plus people.
Holy moly, that was the biggest party I've ever been to. And I'm not much on partying, but it was a 3-story place with a big old dance floor.
Three stories, had bars on each level.
And they had big screens on both sides, so they were playing the videos. I don't know why I'm pulling a pin. They were playing the videos from when Joey Logano did his speech at the award ceremony, which was probably one of the best speeches I've ever heard. But Roger Penske got up and talked, and Joey got up and talked. We talked a little bit I got to actually talk to Roger Penske. I don't know why I didn't get my picture with him, because this is like a once-in-a-lifetime moment, winning a championship for the captain.
We weren't
He
thinking.
said, I did a hell of a job meaning the engine shop, of course, for Roush Yates Engines. So that was a huge compliment to Doug Yates and all the guys at Roush Yates Engines. And then we talked to Brad a little bit. I don't remember. Oh, I talked about my old buddy Blaze Alexander, and Brad's dad raced in the truck series back in the day. And then we got to talk to Joey, and I had my
No.
championship ring on.
No.
But Tracy
tell the
went up to
beginning
him.
of the
Now you can
story.
tell the story.
So Joey's standing there looking at the car after they presented it to him, and once he's done getting his pictures made, we walked up to him and I said, "Hey Joey, how you like having that big bling on your hand?" And what did he say? I don't remember exactly.
He was
what he
kind of
said.
looking at it, and he's like, "Yeah, look at this."
And I said, "I'm sorry, Joey. David's got 12."
Yep.
And he looked at David. He says, "What? You've got 12 for real?"
And he looked at my ring first, and I said, "Well, that's a championship ring from back in 2004." So he's like, "Oh man, that's nice." So, but then yeah, I guess he didn't realize that I would have 12 rings at this point. But you know what? It's kind of hard to believe. I thought last year I had 9, and then I ended up finding one. I had one stashed away somewhere for some reason. Who knows? I maybe wore it and put it in the case and set it aside. So anyway, but this is my Indy ring, and I was going to tell you the story about my first race at Indy was in 1996, and Kyle Petty was the driver, and Kyle tried to knock the wall down, so he ended up breaking his leg. The car was tore all to pieces. Had to come all the way back to Charlotte on a rollback. And so we spent the day, me and Mikey Atwell, and I don't remember if somebody else was. We walked over to the museum there, which is down in the middle of the Indianapolis racetrack. And I didn't have any money, which was typical back then. So I walked in there and I said, "I'd like to get in here, but I don't have any money." So the girl working at the counter, she had on a t-shirt, and I said, "I'd really like to have a t-shirt too." So she said, "Well, I like your shirt." So we ended up swapping. I gave her my race day shirt. It was just a red shirt with Team Sapco Racing on it, or Team Sapco back then, yeah. And so we swapped, well, not at the same time. We went into separate rooms, and she gave me her t-shirt, and I got me an Indianapolis t-shirt out of that, and I got to tour the museum for free. So that was pretty cool. I told that story to Winston Kelly the other day down at the NASCAR Hall of Fame, and he said that was a great story from back in the day, 22 years ago. Hard to believe it's been that long.
Okay. So Rusty Washburn says he goes to every race at NIS.
That's a good track. It's fast. It reminds me, what is that? That's like, let's see, Texas is like Charlotte. Michigan's like California. Michigan and California were very similar tracks.
Scott says, turn 2 races in one weekend, then you free up another weekend. So Jana said, wouldn't that shorten the schedule for the teams, give more home time for crew members?
Yeah, well, you know what? They sign up for it.
Okay, and
I'm
then
just
Tom
kidding.
Robinson says, what is the new rule package
not
they are
bad.
talking about for next year? We know the engine package is going to be different, but do you know what else they have in store for the Cup cars?
For the cars, well, the Ford's going to have the Mustang, so that's the one big thing for Fords. But as far as the car chassis and all that, that I don't know, Tom. Maybe we should get us a chassis guy in here sometime, somebody that works on the cars. That's what I'll have to do. We'll have to plan that sometime. But yeah, the engine's definitely changing to the restricted tapered spacer is what we're going to be running, which is what we kind of run now anyway, but now it's going to be on everything, even the plate. There's no more restrictor plate. It's going to be the taper spacer, which, as you know, is any kind of restriction on the engine's right up our alley. So I think we'll be just fine. I think it's going to be another stellar year for Fords. I need to move that light over a little bit so it's not so
It's fine.
shadowy.
Scott says, did Joey thank you for putting the gaskets in right?
Putting, yeah, pretty much. Joey thanked everybody. You know, that's kind of been the theme for the past several weeks. Is we've been getting a lot of thanks and a lot of good jobs and a lot of congratulations. You know, today we had lunch. Ford brought us lunch from Big Tiny's out of Mooresville, awesome barbecue place. So we had Big Tiny's at lunch today. Yesterday we went down to the NASCAR Hall of Fame and they catered there. I guess Rachel could probably answer this question better, but I don't know if they had their own catering service, but they had some really good food. We had like beef stew and salad and sweet potatoes, and they had some
Shrimp and
kind of dessert,
grits.
shrimp and grits. That's right. They had some kind of dessert that I didn't get. I think it was bread pudding and ice cream. But
Pecan pie, you said.
well, I said that, but somebody today said it was bread pudding, so I don't know.
Brilliant.
It was something. It was something sweet that I didn't need, so I just. And my
Right.
buddy Anthony, he
Anthony.
couldn't. Yeah, he couldn't eat it, so I said, you know what, I'm gonna be with you, my brother. So
Anthony was my dance partner at the party.
yeah, he's gonna come and be on this show sometime too.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So Michael Wright says, haha, 12, wow. How much change do you see in the new aero package with the fusion to the Mustang? Do you think it will set Ford back at the beginning of the season?
I don't think so because you probably noticed, but they already run it in the Xfinity series, and it's been running pretty good. You know, we should have won the championship. We actually won the manufacturers championship in the Busch series, if I'm not mistaken, with Chase Briscoe, yeah, and Stuart Haas. I'm pretty sure of that. But you know, we should have won the championship in the Xfinity series. I don't know if I said Busch series. I'm so used to always saying that, but so I think we'll be just fine,
Tom
especially
says,
with our horsepower.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Tom says less downforce, I think, is the deal for the Cup cars. Scott says it's last year's All-Star Aero package.
Yes.
Rusty Washburn, sorry. Tune Harv's car down, please, he says.
Tune it down. You don't want. You talking about Harvick? Is that what he said?
He just says tune Harv's car down, please.
Yeah, I guess he's talking about Harvick. He must be a.
Harvick.
Who are you a fan of? Logano, or
Keselowski?
could it be 78?
Who knows? So Janice says Scott has
Well, not
listened to
78
NASCAR
anymore,
talk
but-
shows all day. Rachel says, are you surprised about Jamie McMurray joining Fox Sports as an analyst?
Am I surprised by that?
It sounds like it.
I am a little bit surprised. I wasn't expecting it. I mean, I've heard him on there before, you know. Not really a whole lot, though. I mean, Scott might know more about this, especially if he's been listening to NASCAR talk all day. I have heard this about Jamie. But, Scott, have you ever heard him on any of the NASCAR talk shows on Sirius satellite radio? Has he ever been on there talking? Because I don't know. I probably should listen to that more, but maybe I can pick up some podcasts sometime.
Paul Rodriguez says, also, people are talking about moving race dates around. These people must realize the changes are not easy. Pocono and Homestead have already billed me for 2019, so I know my 2 vacations are going to be.
Yeah, there you go, Paul. And you're going to go down to Florida again? I think Paul's likes to travel to all the racetracks. And have you ever been to California? That'd be a good track for you to go to.
Rusty
haven't
Washburn says yes. He friggin' loves y'all.
Or
Y'all as
oh,
in,
cool.
y'all as in me and David, or
I hope he means me and you, or he might mean the 22 and the 2 and the 4 and the 10.
y'all as in Ford.
And the Fords. Yeah, I was trying to
You
just
may wanna
name off all the
clarify
numbers,
that.
but maybe
Anyways,
he means the
we
Fords.
love you anyways.
Yes.
If you don't love us, we
Hey.
still love you.
If you're a Ford fan, we love you. Take that to the bank.
Tom Robinson says Cole Custer would have clinched manufacturer championship for Ford. I don't think Chase Briscoe ran entire season.
You know what? Was I saying Chase Briscoe?
I wasn't listening.
I think I meant Cole Custer, and I don't know why I said Chase Briscoe. Now, Chase Briscoe's a good driver, too. But I get... Cole Custer was the one in 00 for Stuart Haas, and he was... yeah, I guess I could look on my chart back here, and it was Cole Custer. So if I said Chase Briscoe, I apologize, but it was Cole Custer. He's the one won the Xfinity Manufacturers Championship and should have won the actual championship. But it just didn't work out this time.
So Michael Wright says no Jap crap Toyota fans allowed. LOL.
Yeah, there you go.
Tom Robinson says, or I think that's his name, the 00 car. Terry Quinn
Yeah,
says
Chase is
Tom,
from Indiana.
Cole Custer, old crew chief, cost him the title.
Oh.
Rusty Washburn says he's talking about y'all, but I'll take MTJ.
He's from Indiana. Sorry, guys, I just had a phone call coming in. So, anyway, so we had, was that a question? Oh, Scott said, what a great vacation Wednesday night. Martinsville drive to our south and watch the Cup race at Charlotte on the weekend and then head back home. That's a NASCAR fan's dream trip. I could see that, you know.
Paul Rodriguez is trying to win the lottery so he can go to all of them. Guess what, Paul?
There you go, Paul.
I'm trying to win too, so both of us can't win.
So I asked,
same one. We got to win a different one.
Yeah, there you go. I asked Joey when he was in, you know, what it was like on his final lap, first of all,
yes, you did.
When he was,
You did ask him that.
Yeah, when he was blowing by the 78 car, and I said also, what is it like on your final lap there? What goes through your mind as a driver on your final lap? When you're leading the race and a chance to win the championship. Yeah, so he said, one thing he said was...
Keep it straight.
Yeah, well, that was kind of what I told him. I said, you always imagine, you know, the announcer's already talking about the drivers, he's won the race and all this stuff. And then I always imagine the driver just spinning out and hitting the wall or something. You know, just choking, basically, and wrecking. But he said that his foot was shaking. He was so nervous.
Aww.
Yeah.
He is so sweet, guys. He is super sweet.
I can imagine, you know, here you are about to win a championship, and there's got to be a lot of nerves and adrenaline going on. So he said he said, I had to write this stuff down because I didn't want to forget any of it, but he said his foot was shaking from the nerves. He was super excited, and the other thing that was going through his mind was he was hoping a caution didn't come out because he said it's been happening so many times. Mm-hmm. You know, like there'd be debris on the track, and then it's like, bounce them back up, you know, and he's like an expert at restarts anyway. But he said that was one of the things that kept going through his mind. And but he said as soon as he finished the start-finish line, it was like Christmas tree lights everywhere. Yep. He said everywhere in the stands they were just lit up, flashed and lit up at their phones. So, and then whenever we were clapping for him, you know, as he was telling some of his stories, he's like, I wish you guys would have been with me at the racetrack. He said, because the people around me, close to me, around me, were clapping. He said, but the fans up in the stands, there was a lot of booze going on. He said, I could have used you guys. You know, they were still mad because, I guess because of when they spun out, when he was racing and Truex spun out in front of him.
Scott says, what a great vacation Wednesday night race at Martinsville Drive to our south and watch the Cup race at Charlotte on the weekend and then head back home. That's a NASCAR race fan's dream. I read that already. And then Paul says, I like all of the Ford guys. And Paul also says, Cole ran good at Homestead until the last pit stop. He stayed out too long. Yeah. The other thing Joey said was whenever he was in the car going around the track, he felt like he was, you know, he's kind of like you're in there all alone. But you just imagine this. You're winning the race of your life. You're in the car, but you're alone. All you can hear is your spotter, your crew chief every once in a while. But when you get out of the car and you got all your guys there that have been with you all year long, your head engine builders there, you know, and the tuners, there's all these people on your team are there. That's when that excitement really hits. And that's basically what he said. That's when he got really excited, was when he saw his guys. So that really brought, you know, that was a good perspective to it. That made me really think a lot and appreciate him, you know, because that's very humble of him to know, you know, that he's doing it as a team. It's not just he's in the car, you know, I won, yes, me, yeah, me. You know, that kind of stuff, right? He sees it as a team effort. Some drivers probably don't see that. And y'all could name a few of them, I'm sure. At least one. So Rachel says, what dirt tracks would you add to the Cup schedule? I think they should be added too.
What dirt tracks?
Yeah.
Like Eldora to the Cup Series? What do y'all think? I think we should have a bigger dirt track. How awesome would that be? Just to have a, you know, we could have some small dirt tracks too, kind of like maybe not Martinsville small, but throw some big dirt tracks in there. That would be really cool.
Well, when they started the Daytona, it was on the beach, right?
Yes, part of it was on the beach. So down the front stretch or the back stretch. I don't know. I wasn't there. It was what, 1949 or something like that. Yeah.
Ask my dad.
Yeah, your dad might know. Yeah.
Okay.
I got a book over there to probably tell me.
Yeah, probably.
NASCAR Classics.
Paul Rodriguez says he'll bring us if he wins.
That sounds good, awesome. Paul.
We need a big RV with 2 bedrooms.
I told y'all check out Tracy's lottery ticket videos
Reveals,
on
scratches.
DHammiam. And while you're here, click like and subscribe to my channel.
Yes, again.
But check out Tracy's channel, DHammiam, because she's got some scratch-off ticket videos on there. And you know, if y'all want to do this, I mentioned this before. If y'all, each of you want to buy a ticket, put it in an envelope and send it to me. And if I win, I'll split it. If I win $1 million,
We'll scratch it on live.
I'll give each of you. Ooh, I can't give each of you 100,000. I think I said that last time. But if there's 10 of you, there goes my $1 million.
Uh-oh.
What the heck was I thinking? Anyway, I'll give each of you $10,000. All right, then I still got a little bit left over for myself.
So Paul,
That's a pretty good deal.
so Rachel says, "What an awesome one for Joey. Poor Joey. I wish he hadn't heard those boos." Rachel says, "Yes, more dirt." Paul Rodriguez says, "Some people near me at Homestead, rooting for other drivers, actually cheered for Joey."
Oh, that's good.
I was surprised.
Yeah.
So SC Pyro Kids on here.
Joey was also talking
tuned in
about.
late, got your hair cut. Yes, I cut it.
Oh yes, Tracy cut my hair. It's not all wild like it was last time.
Yeah, he asked me to trim it before the party.
So yeah, but the other thing Joey said was his spotter was. I missed my hair. Anyway, his spotter was his voice was getting high pitched.
Uh-oh.
And he said his was too because he's getting excited. Which I do that when I get excited. You see me on here, I start getting high pitched voice.
Mm-hmm.
So, or when I fell on that big stick down at the creek on my other video, if you want to check it out, it's kind of funny.
Scott says, "Wave the dirt tracking." Wait a minute. Let me say it over. Wave the dirt track racing for the trucks. Terry Quinn says, I think
he means leave it for the trucks, but yeah.
Terry Quinn says, "I read today that since NASCAR started the new playoff format, that a different driver has won the championship each year."
Yes, so will the pattern repeat itself? Will it keep going that way? Who's next? Will it ever be a younger driver starting to win? Kind of like when Jeff Gordon was winning back in the day. You know, like let's say a Chase Elliott. The other question is, who's going to be in the 41 car? I mean, is it going to be Cole Custer? Is it going to be Suarez? Because I've heard the rumor of it being Suarez. And despite what y'all might think, I don't always hear everything first. You know, usually my buddy Nick Orlando, and I'm in Orlando, Florida, he'll send me a text. "Hey, I heard y'all going to be doing engines for Stuart Haas next year." I was like, "Really? Sweet." So, you know, but I mean, my work's out, and then we get called up to the break room. So Doug Yates is really good about filling us in on all that stuff. So, but somehow Nick's like got a straight line to whatever he was listening to.
So Scott says,
"Yeah, Jana, I guess I do have to play to win."
what Ford driver is going to win the championship next?
Yes, that is the question of the day. What Ford driver is going to win the championship next? I think it's going to be next year. What do you think? Harvick. I think Harvick's going to come back strong because I think he's got something to prove after not winning this year. I think he's going to be like, you know what? We're just going to have to win every race of the season if we have to.
Well, you know, to say something about that, you know,
Just saying.
Year before, Keselowski was pretty strong, so
Well, he's always
always done pretty good, and he's an awesome driver too.
Yeah, he could definitely come out. And I forgot to mention when I was at Indy that year in '96, who won that race? Who won the Brickyard race that day? And
that's your trivia question?
Yeah. Who won it in '96?
SC Pyro Kid wants to know, do you know how the Stang does in the wind tunnel?
How the Stang? No, I don't. But I imagine it's pretty good.
Tom Robinson.
We'll just have to wait and see on that.
Tom says, "I think it will be the 4-car, Scott, or the number 2.
Yeah. 4 or the number 2, those are going to be good ones. So they are going to sign the 41 with Suarez in January. Okay, Paul.
Okay.
That surprised me. You know, it's all good.
Terry Quinn says she loves seeing a different driver each year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Michael
that is good.
Wright, BKN19. See, you're on the same page with me.
You think about it, yeah. I mean, you think about the year. What was it? Oh gosh, the 48 won 5 years in a row. He won a championship. And what did that do to NASCAR? there was a lot of fans that were not happy about that. So yeah, I think that it's good to have a different driver win every year. No doubt about that.
Okay. SC Pyro Kid says that 4 gang. I'm not sure what that means.
It probably means they're going to win a championship. That 4 game, meaning kids, Harvick and yeah, Rodney Childers and those guys.
Oh. So Terry Quinn says, have you heard who is replacing Matt?
I don't play either,
Benedetto?
Jana says she don't play the turn. Have I heard he's replacing Matt Dan Benedetto? No.
Benedetto, yeah.
Dan Benedetto, yeah, his name's kind of pretty tricky.
Benedetto.
Yeah, Ryan Blaney is a good kid. He would be a good champion too. He'd be a good for the sport. Tom says.
Rachel agrees with me, Brad, for the next win.
Yep, Rachel and Brad. That's a good person to pull for, though. No, I mean Rachel likes Brad. She's a big Brad Keselowski fan and Joey Logano and a Ford fan. Yeah. So back to the question: who won in '96? Who won that race? That would have been Dale Jarrett. Right, Joe.
Paul Rodriguez.
I was there. It was a big time. Waiting on them to get back on the bus. Those guys from the Robert Yates Racing Team. Robert Yates Racing Team representing right here. So we got to see the display down at the NASCAR Hall of Fame for Robert Yates Racing. His toolbox, his degree wheel, the '88 car, the championship from 1999 when they won the championship. Excuse me, they won the championship and the manufacturer's championship in '99. So that was the last time that Ford won both of those until now. So now we won both. Because we won in 2004, but we won the points championship, but not the whole manufacturers and the points and the drivers.
Paul Rodriguez would like to see Blaney win more.
Yeah, I would too. I was actually surprised this year that he didn't win. I don't think he won at all, did he? It was a train. Yeah, I was kind of surprised. Or did he win one? I don't know. Y'all answer that question. I don't think he won this year.
Tom
he won
says
last year.
He wouldn't mind seeing Ryan Blaney win it all. He's a good kid.
Yeah. So,
here's another question.
Another question?
Are you ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
What do you think will happen to Jimmy without Canas? Are you surprised they got split up?
I'm not surprised because they've been together 17 years, and they haven't had the best season over the past couple years. So in NASCAR racing, that's what you have to do. You have to change things. If something's not working, I mean, it worked for 7 championships, but you know what? They've been together 17 years. It's time to kind of mix it up a little bit. Hendricks, they don't have anything to lose right now because they're not winning. So it doesn't surprise me to see that. Oh, that's right, Terry. Blaney won the Roval. That's right. I should have remembered that because he was running in third, and that's when Jimmy Johnson wrecked Truex and took him out, and then he ended up winning. And I had built the engine for that car, which it doesn't matter. We build them and they go in, that kind of stuff. But I think that just kind of made it a little bit extra exciting whenever he won that race because he was running in third and all of a sudden he won. So it was just like adrenaline overload, because I remember being out in my shop watching it and getting all excited and jumping around. If you could see me getting excited.
Tom Robinson says, do you ever think the Roush Fenway cars will ever get to be competitive again? Seems they're happy just being field fillers.
Yeah, it does seem that way. But from what I heard, this year they're gonna make some changes a little bit. I haven't heard of the changes yet. Excuse me. The only change that I do know of is they're getting rid of their Xfinity program. So maybe they can concentrate more on the Cup side. We'll see. Maybe they can get over and work some with Team Penske and Stewart Haas. Maybe all the Fords, can work together in that way. I don't know. I mean, I hate to see it because we had a lot of success out of it with those guys over there at Roush. I mean, we won a lot of races with them. And they've won a lot of races as a team, even before we came along. But when we combined forces, we were untouchable back in 2004 when we won the championship. in 2005 and 6. I mean, I wish they could go back to that. The days we had Carl Edwards and Matt Kenseth and Greg Biffle. So we'll see. Newman makes a chase at 19. Yeah, probably. I think Newman, maybe he'll bring some, some different energy in there. That's a possibility. I mean, he used to be known as the Rocket because he was qualified really good. But let's see, there was one year he was running really good. Matt Kenseth ended up winning the championship 2003. Ryan Newman could have, but he just wasn't winning enough races that I won't go back that far.
Scott says, who's going to drive the new Spy racing team? Is that how you say it? Spy?
That I don't know. Spy. I don't know.
Spihire.
Who's going to drive the new Spy racing team? You have to tell me about that one, Scott. I don't know. And he said they paid $6 million for the charter. I haven't heard that. You must have been listening to stuff like Jana said. You were listening all day.
He was warming up. He was
Yes.
getting the questions ready.
Rusty Washburn. I like this guy. He says best engine builder in the world. Hamm, very awesome. Hashtag Hamm. There you
Second
go.
best arrowhead hunter. Second best.
Oh, second best. That's a good one. I like that. I'll take that. I'll take second best on that for sure, man. That's a good time. I enjoy
Second
doing
best
that.
is first loser.
Well, that's okay. And arrowhead hunting, no, I'll take 100 at best. Just the fact that I get to do it. That's
Yeah,
good
he
enough for
actually
me.
gets a little bit of thrill out of doing that.
Oh, absolutely. So, yeah, SC Pro Kids, yes, we need to work together. That's Patrick, I believe. And gang up on them. Yoda's nice. They seem to have each other's back. Yeah, they do, don't they? So, Newman did best in the old Penske Fords. Yes, he did, Tom. Sure did. So, I'm going to go ahead and finish up, but we're going to talk about my number 2 most asked question. I said I would get to that. And my number 2 most asked question, I think it's number 2. Number 2 or 3. Anyway, is what do y'all do in the off season?
Work.
We work. I mean, so what we're doing in this off season is, we got the new engine package, basically 550, 750 deal, with the tapered spacers. So our R&D is pushing pretty hard to try to get a best package together for that. It's kind of like we're working on our plate program like we typically do all winter for Daytona, but we're able to carry it into actually working on the whole season at one time kind of deal. I know it's hard to understand. But we're not putting anything together yet because we're still waiting to figure out what package we're gonna have. So, but as soon as we get back from Christmas break, we're gonna get a week off for Christmas. As soon as we get back from the break, we're gonna be busy. We'll be building engines. But basically, in the wintertime, we tear everything down, clean everything up. Every part has to be magnafluxed, inspected, washed, of course, before you do that. And then mileage out. If something's got, too many miles on it, then we'll scrap it. And basically that's it. I mean, I'm actually in the machine shop building some, running a CNC machine, doing some rocker bar because I have a background in CNC machines. So I'm able to do that, which is something different. But there's always something to do. Always something to do in NASCAR. There's not really an off season. Machine shop's busier than they've been all year.
So would you say it's the busier time for research and development?
I would say so, yeah. It's busy for those guys. And they don't give up. They go all year long. Our research and development department just, works their butt off going all year long, finding more power. And it showed up this year. I mean, they find the power. We put them together, make sure everything's tight, make sure the gasket's in the right place. Right, Scott? And so...
make sure it's screwed. Remember what Dad said one time? Make sure you screw it in the right way?
Yeah, make sure you screw it in the right way. Scott said that's the number 2 question. Scott, I'm just looking at, what questions I get asked the most. And I know the number 1 was, how did you get your job in racing? And then the number 2 is probably, what do y'all do in the off season? I don't know. You probably think of something else, but that's a pretty big one.
So Tom Robinson says, with the 550 horsepower package, are you to stay at 550 or can you make more horsepower within the rules?
You can make more horsepower within the rules. I mean, that's just what they're shooting for, so that's what we're, of course we're going to try to beat that, but that's another story.
SC Pyro Kid says, my hair. Do you think the new package will still be strong on the bottom end or strong on top or equal throughout?
The new what package?
The new package.
The
Engine
engine?
package,
Oh, the engine
probably.
package. I think it's going to be, well, it depends on what team you're with. I mean, ours typically strong throughout. But, you know, you also have to look at what you want at different tracks. You know, some tracks you don't want top end. You don't want a lot of top end. You want more on the bottom end. Let's say Martinsville, places where you're not going to run much top end. So, that's where you got different intakes, different cams, you know, rocker combinations, all that kind of stuff. So, you know, that's getting into the technical side of it, but that's basically it. You know, some tracks you want more torque, some tracks you want more horsepower, depending on the size of the track and the gear rule that NASCAR gives us too.
And to how the driver likes to drive it, right?
Yeah, well, the drivers have a different feel for what they like. They're probably limited more now than what they used to be, because it used to you could have all kinds of different gears, rules, stuff, but now they're limited on that. So
Scott says he's in Daytona. He's out. He loves you, means it.
all right. See you, Scott. Have a good
Love
time
you,
down there.
Scott.
And Yates
Thanks for
Powers,
dinner
no
last
worries,
night
Michael
again.
Wright. Yeah, thanks for dinner at the country club.
Country Club.
I'm a
We were
member of the
clubbing it.
country club. All right. So, thanks everybody for watching. And if you got, I was going to ask, if you got a question, so after this video ends,
Looks like Terry asked a question, but I don't see the oh.
so click like and subscribe if you haven't already, please. And and another thing is, if you got a question after this video ends, you can always come back on here and ask me a question. And
Because all this chat that we've got disappears.
yeah, all this stuff, I can still see the chat, but I can't comment on it. I can't answer questions on it. That's just the way it is on the YouTube.
On the YouTube.
On the YouTubes. But I know what I was going to say. But what I would like for you to do is come back on here and answer this question for me. Don't answer it right here, but after the video ends, who is your favorite driver of all time? And another thing, put beside that, who is your favorite driver's spouse? That's something I don't think anybody's ever asked, because you think about it, you had Darrell Waltrip and you had Stevie, and I think Stevie was probably one of the biggest loved spouses of all time, because she would always go and
Spouse or mates, because the one guy had a girlfriend.
okay, well, you can say mates if you want, you know, like g'day mates. Anyway, but Stevie would go and give, you know, do prayers with some of the drivers, and she would give little pieces of paper with a prayer on it for different drivers, you know. Being sweet that she was. So yeah, you know, if you were a Liz Allison fan, you know, Kim Irvin, shoot, just keep it going. Linda
Teresa
Rudd,
Earnhardt.
Teresa Earnhardt, yeah. You might have liked her back then, but maybe not after
Who
you died.
knows?
But anyway, yeah, go on and comment after this video and let me know, because I'm curious about that. You know, maybe one of these days I'll do a poll, but that's a question I'm curious about. So I think we covered everything. So thanks everybody for tuning in.
Will we be tuning in next week? Or no?
We're gonna do.
When will we be back?
Ooh, I think we should do Monday. Let's see, when's Christmas Day?
Christmas is Tuesday, right?
Okay, so Christmas Eve would be on that Monday. How about this?
Who's
I'll let you know.
Savage Boy. Hamm, do you remember me, ho?
I don't know. What's your real name?
Savage Boy.
Yeah, so we'll try to do. I'll let you know. How about this? I'll put it on.
Oh,
I'll do a
Darla's
post.
on too.
Oh, hey,
Darla's
Darla.
at the end.
I'll do. Okay. We'll do a post, and so Darla's from Indiana. We got Terry from Oklahoma. We got Rachel from Charlotte. I don't know where some of these other people are from. Like, right, we got Paul from Florida.
Florida.
So we got people all over the United States watching. We need some people from Australia to come on here. G'day, mates.
Good day, mate.
So there's some English top of the morning here, Scottish.
If you do his heritage, he's not Australian.
I'm a who me?
The Hamm is not Australian.
Oh, not Hamm, but we're yeah, Michael Wright's in Indiana. Okay, yeah, well, I'm an 8th Australian, because my dad was conceived in Australia. That makes me a quarter though.
Yeah.
Anyway, something like that. All right, y'all. Thanks for tuning in. Like and subscribe. go on and check out my other videos if you like. If you want to learn a little bit more about this area, and I'm actually thinking about doing some podcasting stuff too. What do y'all think about podcasting? I mean, we can shoot for. You know what? How about a day after Christmas? Is that on a Thursday? I think a Thursday night.
No, it's Wednesday.
Okay.
The day after Christmas is Wednesday.
All right. How about on Thursday after Christmas?
Thursday.
Or is it after Christmas or next Thursday? Shoot.
Next Thursday is not Christmas. We
Okay.
still have 12 days till Christmas.
All right. Or we can go back to Monday nights, whatever. We'll figure it out. Somebody asking that?
And everybody saying Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, y'all. I'll have a very Merry Christmas. This is a busy time of year, so I think we'll come back after Christmas. But I'll definitely be in touch. We'll let Rachel and Terry and Sarah Baker and them know, the Team Penske page on Facebook, and then we can
We still
keep
don't know
going.
who Savage Boy is.
So anyway, Savage Boy, come back on and comment after the video. Comment in the comment section. But
South Carolina.
yep. And if y'all got any questions, don't forget to put them down in the comments below. And also tell me who your favorite NASCAR driver is. And then do a / the NASCAR driver's wife. Because they may not be the same.
True.
Chances are they will be, but they may not be the same. So, there you go, Michael Wright. I think you can still buy these somewhere. So, I'll let you know if you comment below. All right. Thanks, y'all. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to y'all
Next time.
later on. Merry Christmas to you all. And
Subscribe, like,
see you
share,
before New Year's.
turn on
Oh
notifications.
yeah, do some sharing too. Sharing is caring.
Sharing is caring.
All right, bye y'all. If I always do this.